10 is in the books. Week 11 is upon us. It's time for another episode of Upon for the Review. I'm AJ Bellino, and today we welcome back Diego Del Barco.
Thank you very much.
The 49ers win, and he comes out of seclusion in Peru.
It's just the way it was supposed to be. I don't control those things.
In any case, we're back. We got a lot to talk about, so here we go. Well, all right, this week we've got the Seattle Seahawks. 49ers are headed up to CenturyLink Stadium.
Going on the road.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the matchups that we see coming up. I'm going to take care of the defensive side of the ball, but first we're going to have Diego give us a skinny on the O.
Well, 3-4 weeks ago, I forget how long ago it was. It wasn't a pretty game over at Levi Stadium. So second year in a row that we basically got smashed in the face by the Seahawks. And there were you talked about there were plenty of reasons why we got our butts handed to us. But I think one of the main reasons was our offensive line was completely mismatched and overpowered by the pass rush of the Seahawks. And over the last few weeks while I was out in Peru, we seemed to kind of play around a little bit with our personnel and bring in Andrew Tiller a little bit more, bring in even Trent Brown a little bit, kind of push Eric Paris inside. And I think there's not really a whole lot to play for as far as the Niners go. I mean, the season's pretty much done with as far as any playoff hopes. But if there's one thing Niner fans still want is they want to beat Seattle. And I think if we're going to go out and beat Seattle, especially out on the road, we need to have our best possible lineup up front.
Sure.
Covering Gabbert. And I think it'll be key. I would love to see Andrew Tiller start at guard and remain the whole game at guard, and also Trent Brown come in and just play the whole game at right tackle, because we've seen already we have plenty of sample size of what Eric Paris will do out on right tackle. It's just not working out. Obviously, Jordan Deebe, he's done.
Sure.
So I would love to replace Marcus Martin, but obviously that's not going to happen.
Okay, so what about Kilgore?
Well, Kilgore isn't, by all accounts, he won't be ready for this week. If he was, I would love to. If he was ready, I would love to maybe try Marcus Martin out of right guard. But Marcus Martin basically is our only center for this week.
Or try him in right field, the softball team.
Yeah.
For Safeway.
Yeah. Okay, maybe
Sorry.
try him at right guard at a home game instead of on the road.
All right.
There's. I mean, he's still young.
Yeah.
But basically, we want to see an offensive line that will give us a chance to win, and I think that's the lineup I would love to see.
Right on. It's okay. So, really, I mean, if you think about it, the 49ers haven't been able to block either of Seattle's, lightning quick DNs. I mean, Cliff Averill gives us fits. So, are you thinking Brown is going to be able to square up against him a little bit better than Paris? I mean, Paris got eaten alive.
That's exactly my point. I already know what I'm going to get out of Paris.
Sure.
So I maybe Brown will be able to perform, but if he gets beat, then I still at least I was able to evaluate him fairly against a really tough opponent on a difficult situation. But sure. If I see Paris get beat again, then what am I getting out of it?
No, okay, I hear you. All right, so and that is critical. One other critical element of this game is going to be the 49ers finding a way to shut down beast mode. Now, the last time the 49ers played these guys, getting sacks was not an issue.
Yeah.
It was not an issue. The Seattle does not have a good offensive line. That O-line has not had one single great game this year.
Actually, Russell Wilson, most sacked quarterback in the NFL.
Exactly. Yeah. So, right. So they have not had one great game. Now, here's what's critical. What's critical isn't sacking Russell Wilson. It's pressuring Russell Wilson into making bad throws. I don't care if the 49ers don't sack Russell Wilson all day. Oh. But if they pressure him into making mistakes, well, that's lights out. And so, really, we're going to start inside out with what I think the key matchup here is. You've got to start in the middle. And in the middle, that's Ian Williams. Ian Williams has got to have a good game. Now, last time the 49ers played in Week 9, Tank Carradine was not active. Mike Purcell was. Now, if Seattle decides to get cute and go with a 3 wide receiver set or decides to split their non-blocking, pass-catching tight end out as a wide receiver, more power to him. That's where you run a 4-2-5 front, and if you get Williams and Purcell with their hands in the dirt, both of those guys are solid at the point. That makes a world of difference against a big, powerful runner like Lynch. The other thing it does is it takes Tank Carradine basically out of the middle of that D-line. In a 4-2-5 look, Tank Carradine has absolutely no business lining up at 3 technique.
Yeah.
He has no business lining up at 2 technique. Tank Carradine is a 5 technique defensive end. Yeah. That's where he is. Or if you want to stand him up and call him an elephant pass rusher and a 4-1 over, super. You don't want Tank with his hand in the dirt inside. The last time the 49ers tried that, I think Todd Gurley is still running from that play. So we can't have that happen. The big matchup to watch inside of the 49er D-line. Mark my words, kids. Purcell and Williams, and whatever we do, no Moss Tank inside. No Moss. So Blaine Gabbert is going to have his second start for the 49ers this weekend at CenturyLink Stadium. I think that he will at the very least be functional. He gets the ball out on time.
Yes.
He may not get sacked, 7 times, 8 times. He may find receivers. Look, I don't think the 49ers are going to be non-functional up there as they have been in the past. And I don't think maybe we're looking at a 50 burger or anything like that. They're going to move the football.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure what we're going to get because the sample size is really short. And while he had a great game the last time out, I just don't know if he can go on the road and duplicate that effort.
Well, I don't know if you would define it as great. Now, I am about to talk about Blaine Gabbert going up to Seattle to play against Seahawks. So before I do that,
right.
Here's the thing. And again, I don't define the first game as great. I thought he was very good. Definitely more than serviceable. Made plays. It was his first game back after a long time. I don't necessarily think the Falcons knew everything they were going to get out of him, so game planning was a little bit difficult. I think Seattle is going to go out and throw the book at him on the road, on a rough environment, with a lot of noise, with a weak offensive line, and I think that's going to, mean he's going to struggle.
Sure.
It's a very difficult, it's basically you start school and then next week it's almost like you join, midway through the semester and then it's your second week and now you got a midterm, and so I think what my expectation is Seattle is going to try to do a lot of different things to make him realize that he's just getting back into being an NFL starter, and it's going to be a rough day for him. It's going to be a rough day for the offense. I still think that it will be a better performance than what we got out of Kaepernick last time out, but I just don't think it'll be enough to pull out a win.
I got to say, I think I kind of agree with you.
Yeah. It's rough.
Well, all right, it's prediction time. We're going to go into what we think is going to go down at CenturyLink this Sunday. As you all know, the 49ers do not have a history of lighting it up at CenturyLink. And I think Vegas is in concurrence with history. The spread is, 11?
12.5.
12.5 points. Welcome to D3 versus a D1 college team.
Just so we're clear, the favorite is Seattle.
Yeah. Look, I love the 49ers. I'm going to cheer for them. Probably going to lose my voice. I might even have a neighbor come over, knock on the door, and ask me not to drop consecutive F-bombs.
Yeah.
I'm having a really tough time seeing the 49ers come out of this one with a win. Colin Kaepernick has not had any success up in CenturyLink, but he's not under center. The Seahawks aren't exactly lighting the world on fire right now. They did sort of get punched in the face by the Arizona Cardinals. But I find it really difficult for a team that struggles on the road and is starting a journeyman at quarterback and has a bunch of questions on our offensive line, getting picked as a winner in a really, really, really tough venue. I think Seattle's going to win.
Whether they covered.
What did they beat us by at Levi Stadium again?
A lot more than 12.5.
A lot more than 12.5? And that was a home game, kids.
Yeah.
I think they're going to cover. It breaks my heart, and I'm probably going to replay it on my Xbox as soon as it's over and win by 50.
Yeah.
But I don't think the 49ers are going to pull this one out. I think they're going to lose. I think the Seahawks are going to cover.
It's not really a whole lot different than it was a few weeks ago when we played down here. I mean, it's still a really, really good pass rush against a very weak, offensive line. It's still a solid set of defensive backs, with weakness kind of in the linebacking corps. But as far as you talk about matchups, our offense versus the defense, they still have the advantage when it comes to that. Then on the flip side, yeah, we're able to sack the quarterback a lot last time out. May or may not be able to do that again. May be able to put pressure, but at the end of the day, they're going to be able to score points on us. And I think we need to be careful evaluating Blaine Gabbert, after this game, because I think he will struggle. Mm-hmm. And I think it may not necessarily be fair to make a lot out of it because it's just a really tough game, really tough environment, really difficult matchup, with what he's got to work with. I also have Seattle winning this game. I also have them covering. And that's just the reality of the 49ers right now.
Yeah. Well, this has been prediction time for Week 11. I'm AJ Bellino.
I'm Diego Del Barco.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.